Alright, good morning everyone. Cobra Vids is back with another gun video. But, well, I should say a gun related video. Remember, we're kind of easing back in. We're throwing a few videos out, spaced out, to try to see if YouTube's going to reject them and give us a strike. So we got to learn how to do these and not piss off YouTube. So, anyway, I got my coffee, got my favorite shirt on, I'm ready to go. So let's go ahead and get into this video. Alrighty guys, what this video is we're going to talk about batons. There's been a recent video I saw, and I tried to have a discussion with the creator of that video, and he just did not understand. First of all, and I'm going to try to find that video. You know how it is when you watch a video and then you close it down and it's like never seen again unless you know the title, and I do not know the title of that offhand. So I want to try to get some clips off that video so I could show you exactly what I'm talking about. And if you don't see any clips pop up here, there, down here, or anywhere on the screen, then I couldn't find it. Reason for this video is I'm going to show you exactly why the PR24 is a thing of the past. What? What is a PR24? Well, it's not a weapon, or it's not a firearm. It is a weapon. Let me show you. These are batons. In California, you actually had to have a baton permit to own one. But when you live in a free state like Texas, you can own them. You can even carry them on your person while you're out and about. Here's that AR-15 magazine that blew apart when my AR pistol blew apart on me. That was a great video. I wish I still had it, but I deleted a lot of my YouTube videos back when YouTube was striking me on every video. I'm surprised my channel did not get shut down. But alright, so right here on the left side, this is a PR24, also known as a side handle baton. This is a Smith & Wesson 24-inch baton. Okay, this is what I carry for my Monday through Friday job. This is an asp. This is a 26-inch baton, and it's an asp. And I'm going to go in the differences of these two and show you why I like one more than I like the other. Some of it's obvious, some of it may not be. So, alright, here we go. Okay, first off, we're going to talk about the PR24. Alrighty guys, so what should I do with the baton first? Should I talk about the pros or the cons? Alright, since I like to end on a really good note, let's talk about the cons first, and then we'll go into the pros at the end of the portion of the PR24. Am I saying that right? Man, I haven't carried this thing in so many years, I don't even know if I'm saying it right. No, it's a PR24. This here is an adaptation of the straight hand, or the straight baton that came before this. And then somebody had the genius idea to put a handle on it, okay? But these batons are a thing of the past. And I'll go down the list of why they're a thing of the past so that you can understand more why you don't see police officers using these too often. The fact that a police officer has to remove this and put it in his car when he gets into his patrol car, or even security, okay? Sits down in a chair, he has to pull it out. Well, guess what? He's holding a dangerous instrument in the public's eye, just to set it down so he can have a seat. If he takes lunch at a coffee shop or a donut shop, he has to take it out to set it down most of the time. So that is number one reason. It has to be removed, and if a police officer jumps out of his car to chase a suspect, well, guess what? He has to pull this out. He has to put it in the holster and then go. Okay? So the ability to have this on their person when they need it is hindered by the fact that it is so huge. Most officers put it in a sling in their door, so when they open the door, they can grab it and go. That too causes its problems, because if you have to go and jump out of the car and immediately go deadly force, your hands are tied up by holding your firearm. So you cannot grasp this and put it in here when you have a potential deadly force situation at hand. Understandable? Okay? So if he goes from a deadly force, he has to step down if the suspect drops his weapon and comes at him with his hands. Okay? That is what a police officer or security officer should do. Is to de-escalate. Then he can go to his baton. Alright? Well, if it's not on him, how the hell can he go to it? So that's the number one reason, versatility. Okay? You cannot jump out of a car and just have it on you. Okay? Like you can a retractable, expandable baton, because looky here, it's on me. Okay? So I'm driving my car, I get out, I run, I go deadly force. Oh, it just went to non-lethal force. See how quickly it was there? I jumped out of my car, I chased the suspect, went deadly force, de-escalated to non-deadly force in a split second. Okay, now let's say the officer is on foot patrol. By the way, I do not have my proper sling because I haven't carried this thing in probably 15 years, so I don't have the sling. And this is a monadnock. I can't even say that word, but it's right there. I'm looking at it and I still can't say it. Alright, so I'm using a flashlight ring, so that's going to be the holster that I got to use for it. But it doesn't really matter because my point is still valid and you can still understand what I'm talking about. Alright, so let's just say the officer is on a foot patrol. His PR24 is right next to him, okay? Alright, fine and dandy, right? So he's walking along. Well, you know what? This suspect needs to be detained. So he's going up, right? Blah, 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 blah. Well, you know what? This guy wants to start to wrestle, so he has to go hands-on and try to take the suspect down. Well, guess what's flapping in the wind? Okay? Flapping in the wind, it's knocking him in the thing, and guess what? It's so much more accessible to the suspect. So now you have this huge, dangerous instrument flapping in the wind while you're wrestling a suspect. Okay? This could get caught up in your legs. It could bash your knee, hurt your knee. And guess what? You're going to have to fight with an injured body part. This thing's flapping around any which way it wants to go. Okay? And that brings me to another point. What if this police officer has to chase, run? Maybe it's not even a suspect. Maybe the officer is running to help somebody out of a car and he's got this thing on him. Well, guess what? It's a hindrance. It's flapping around, knocking him in the knees. So what does that mean? He has to hold it and run if he doesn't want it to be knocking him across the damn knees. Okay? So that's another reason. It's a safety hazard for the officer carrying it. I don't care if you're police or security. It is a safety hazard in every which way you look at it. Okay? I know, some of you be like, well, you know, but no. Until you carry one and you run or you have to maneuver, take down suspects. I know I'm in security, and yes, I've had, in my 20 years, I've only had about 40 people in handcuffs. Okay? It's not a lot, but I have wrestled people to the ground with this in its holster. I have dealt with the PR24 on me while I am trying to work. And it is a hindrance in every way. And that is why security, law enforcement, everybody that carried one is moving to the retractable, expandable baton. Okay? And the last thing I'm going to say about this baton, negative, and then I'll go into the positive, because there are some great positivity in this baton here. The last negative thing I'm going to say is its width. Okay? Let's say you punch someone in the stomach, right? Okay? Your fist has a very large surface, right? But if you take a pencil and stab them with the same force, that pencil would probably penetrate, because it has a smaller surface. Okay? The PR24 has a very wide base. So if you strike somebody, okay, you're not going to penetrate to that muscle as easy as if you had something thinner. See where I'm getting at? So you don't have to swing as hard as you do with the PR24 to penetrate to that muscle. Just almost a light firm, or light firm, that doesn't make sense, but just almost a firm tap will send that muscle into agony. Okay, so that is another con to the PR24. And I'm sure if I sit here and I think about it long enough, I'm going to probably come up with 5 more things, the reason why this is no longer used in security or law enforcement. Okay, you might see a few officers carrying them, but not very many, guys. Thing of the past. Now I'm going to show you some pros about the PR24. A pro is this side handle. Okay, because this side handle, close combat, okay, these jabs here, it's controlled because it remains in contact with your side. Okay? That is very effective when you are trying to fend off somebody coming at you non-lethal. Okay? And if you need a little more reach, it's just a quick, okay? And then you can jab. Okay? So that is a pro about the PR24 that you do not have with the straight handle baton. And that handle is ergonomically correct. Okay? Unlike that. That is uncomfortable. Okay? So that is probably the only pro I can think of, is that handle right there. What this handle can actually do is it can actually help you defend against other strikes. If you didn't have a firearm, if someone came at you with a baseball bat, it could help you defend. Okay? Right? Makes perfect sense, right? Okay. Only pro when you're coming up against a 26-inch asp. Okay, asp is the brand, by the way. Okay, now, take off this thing. That demonstration's over with. The PR24 is a thing of the... Oh, one more thing I'm going to mention, and I hope I find the video because it was silly. It was silly. When the guy on this video was showing, and I hope it pops up here, I really do. He was showing how he would jab at somebody, and he does this. It looked wrong, guys, okay? It was wrong. So that's completely incorrect. I don't care if you have the asp. or the expandable batons or the PR24. It is never it's because what you're doing is you're gripping and you're pushing with this hand as well as pushing with this hand, so you get more force. Okay, if you do this, all you're doing is shooting pool. Okay, silliness, right? Okay, now we're going to talk about batons. Okay, this is the one that I am issued for my 9 to 5 Monday through Friday job. Okay, and it is a 24-inch, and it's made by Smith & Wesson. See all this wonderful grip here? Let me show you up close here. I know that sunshine is just unbearable, right? All right, so you see this wonderful rubber grip. Well, whoops. That's how you know that you have good deployment, is when you have to slam it on the ground in order to close it, okay? That's the great thing about a quality baton, is it will deploy and stay. Okay, I had a company I worked for, the same job, but they changed company hands a lot. And they issued us these batons. I never heard of the brand. And when we were in training, baton training, people would deploy them, because you're supposed to deploy them up like this so that you're ready to strike. Okay, when they would deploy them, they would go shoop, and fall right back down. No matter how hard you hit them, you took them up here, you shook it a little bit, and they would go shoop. So what good is a baton if it won't stay open? So if you just tap it and it closes, then you got a bad baton. And I'll go into a little bit more of that in a little bit. But what this grip does is it makes it great to hold on to, okay? Great to hold on to. But what it does is, I don't know if you saw in the beginning, how I had a problem getting it out, okay? It's because this wonderful grip grips onto the holster for it as well. So it kind of makes it a little difficult. But I'm hoping some of that will wear off eventually and be a little easier to get out. But, okay, now, with this baton, I could sit in the vehicle, I could sit in my chair, I could run, okay? And this thing would stay right where it's at until I need to pull it out and deploy it, okay? I don't know if you noticed, but this baton I have in upside down. Okay, and that's because these aren't made with my other gear on here, because there's something missing here. It's hard with your vest on and everything. It's hard to reach all the way over here. I could do it now because I don't have my vest on and my other gear. It's hard to reach over there. So I have to pull it out, transfer hands, deploy. It's something that I'm getting used to, because with this baton, I had a swivel holster. I showed it in the video I did about intimidation or weapon retention. Check out that video, it's got some good tips in it. So the holster I use for it is a swivel, and I can swivel it toward me and it comes out like that, so I can easily pull it out. So so the differences between this baton and this baton, I didn't deploy that as hard, is not very much, okay? When we do deploy them, a main difference you see is the surface. The Smith & Wesson has a flat surface, this one has a rounded surface. And guess what? The rounded surface will help penetrate, okay? Will help penetrate. This will be more blunt force, you know? This is more penetrating. I don't mean breaking skin. I mean just penetrating to the muscle, or, you know, to the abdominal muscle if you do an abdominal thrust, okay? The other difference is this one here is 2 inches longer than my whole life story, man. It's 2 inches longer than this one, which that's okay because this one is still very effective. But this one being 2 inches longer gives a little more reach, a little more weight, a little more oomph. Last thing that's different is this has a foam grip, which is still great for gripping, but it doesn't grab onto holsters like that other one does. And I'll show it to you right here. If I put this one in this holster, this one comes right out with very little effort, okay? Right? But I couldn't put this one in upside down because I got this here. Hi there. Kyler's coming to join the video today. But this piece here, this is a weapon retention device. I purchased this separately, but when you're gripping it, it kind of will flare out, and it'll allow you to hold on to it. Because sometimes when you're using your baton, no matter which style, your hands are going to get sweaty. And alrighty guys, well, that's pretty much going to wrap it up for the pros and cons of the PR24 and the pros of the expandable retractable baton. I can't really say anything negative about these, except sometimes it takes a few whacks to close them, especially when you have a good quality one like the Smith & Wesson or the Asp. They are the higher quality brands of batons, and fortunately I get to carry a decent baton. Real quick before I let y'all go and on to watch another video on Cobra Vids, I just wanted to say, I had mentioned how those cheap batons that one company issued us would drop as soon as you deployed them. They go bloop, right? They wouldn't stay open. Well, when one of our officers was in baton training, we have a bag, kind of like a punching bag, and when they swung it at the bag and struck it, that baton bent in half. And so once I heard these malfunctions of the baton, I immediately started researching that brand, and they were paying $7.95 per baton. Okay, this Asp, back when I bought it, this was going for $89. Okay, big difference in price, but you get what you pay for. So if you're going to buy yourself a baton and carry it around in states like Florida and Texas and Arizona and many other wonderful states, definitely spend some money. You won't regret it. Alrighty guys, as always, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give us a big thumbs up. And if you want to see more of these videos, go ahead and subscribe. Click the bell so you know when the next gun video is going to come out. And I can guarantee you that gun video is coming out very soon. Stay tuned. We love y'all. We'll catch you on the next one. Drop the gun!